right up to it. And apparently, somebody told me that they had like a little remote control so they could stop the blades if they had to till around there, and then they can turn it back on. Is that true?
The blades are quite a ways. I mean, there's no danger of being struck or anything. It's
okay, so they don't need a little remote control. Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah,
that's
they're probably at least 80 foot off the ground.
Right. So he can just drive his tractor right up. Yeah. And I know that the pedestal that these things sit on is at least 4 feet under the ground, so that they can till right up to it.
Yeah, there's about 4 feet of ground cover over top of the concrete, and it takes out of production maybe a 30-foot diameter circle, and that's it. The concrete structure underneath the ground is larger than that, but that's all amount. 30 foot's all that's taken out of production.
Pretty good. Pretty good. What would be the economic benefits to Champaign County? I mean, let's say everything goes, relatively according to plan, of mice and men kind of thing. Let's say it just kind of goes our way, and we actually have a modest wind farm here in Champaign County. What can we expect as far as economic benefits for that?
Well, just right off the bat, materials to build drives. Some local labor could be used as far as excavating, but local materials is gravel, concrete. It's going to be a pretty sizable project. It could be anywhere from $200 million to $500 million capital investment in the county.
Wow.
That's about the largest capital investment in the county this county has ever seen. And could be some local labor used. It provides possibly 1 person per 10 turbines as far as new employees for maintenance. And then the taxes that are derived from this will benefit the local townships, county, and schools
in
the area.
We're going to have to, I need to thank some people, so we're going to be right back, okay? Stay tuned and let us thank our sponsors, and we'll be right back. Thanks.
The Urbana Leader is sponsored in part by the Depot Coffee House, a gathering place for locals, a resting place for bicyclists, and a haven for history and railroad buffs. Located 6 blocks west of Monument Square on Miami Street in Urbana, the coffee house can be found in a refurbished 1890s train station on the Simon Kenton Bike Trail. Free Wi-Fi, fresh baked goods, local artwork, and good conversation can be found every day of the week at The Depot from 7 a.m. till 9 p.m.
Hi, I'm Anthony Ehresmann. This is Urbana Leader. Welcome back. We're here with Ted Black and John Berry from C.A.R.E. talking about renewable energy here in Champaign County. Now, when we left off, we were talking about economic development. And you mentioned a really big number. What was that big number again?
Depending on the size of the wind farms, Champaign County could be looking at a capital investment of anywhere from $200 million to $500 million, just depending on the size of these farms.
And what is the, and we're talking about an investment, but how does that's how much a turbine, the thing will cost. Now, how does the rest of the community benefit from that?
Well, the temporary part will be, we'll have about 250 to 300 construction workers in to put down the gravel lanes to the turbines, maybe modify the roads, the bridges to be able to get the turbines in. It's about a 6 to 7, 8 month project to put the roads in, the electrical grid, substations in, and so there'll be, they'll need hotel rooms, they'll need a place to stay, they'll need a place to eat. So there'll be a...
So we can't, do we have people who are locally trained for this kind of work, or are we going to have to, or does the company generally have people who they've just done this so many times, this is who they use, because they can do it quickly and they're already trained up on it?
I think a majority of them will bring the people in with them. I I do know they'll try to subcontract as much as they can to be able to use local labor, because it's important to the project that we do that.
Right. And during our break, you mentioned that they were going to have to, there were roads. They're going to have to build roads, widen roads.
Yeah.
Now, why do we have to build new roads and widen roads for these wind turbines?
Well, the blades are 100 foot long, and our roads aren't built. The radius of returning, how the roads turn aren't built for them. So some of the roads are going to have to be widened. We'll have engineers in to study that, figure out how to do that. Some of the bridges may need to be beefed up because there is a lot of weight to the trucks and the cranes.
So you can, would it be relatively safe to say that we're going to have to, if we have, any community really, is going to have some kind of infrastructure improvements as part of the overall development of a wind farm? Now, once you've widened the roads, you can put them back the way you were, or do they stay really big?
Well, they will assess the condition of the roads in the area prior to construction. Whatever damage occurs, they will repair. And I've toured 2 wind farms so far, one in Bloomington, Illinois, one in Fowler, Indiana, and the roads are in better condition when they're done than prior. But whatever, they may have to build some temporary roads. Some of the smaller township roads, there's no way you can make the turn with a 100-foot blade. So they may cut across the edge of a field to make the turn. And once that's done, everything's reclaimed, put back the way it was. And,
right, so it's more of a veering than it is a left or right hand turn.
Right.
Okay. Now, I had been reading, I was at a city council meeting, and I had, was reading this here Champaign County Wind Turbine Study Group Economic Impact Study of Wind Farm Development. And apparently this is for Champaign County. And they have 2 different impacts here one for 100, it's 100 megawatt and 300 megawatt. Now, have you seen this?
Yeah, it helped. I was on the wind turbine study group, so I requested that from Dave Faulkner at the time.
Oh, good.
To develop that for us.
And I can't even remember where I got it from. It was probably from one of your,
from the website, or it's on Nick Travaglio's.
Or it could have been because I was at the last get together that you had at the University of Urbana.
Yeah. And
I probably picked it up there. But here, local economic impact, 25% assessed value. Now, direct impacts, jobs, it says here 144. Now, that would be the number of people that they would need to build to build
right. I believe that's probably on the 100 megawatt project.
Right, on the 100 watt.
Think about double that.
Yeah, it's like 431 on a 300 megawatt. Now, in terms of, I mean, when we're talking about, it doesn't say the number of turbines, but what are we talking about to get to 100 megawatt? How many turbines are we talking about?
Well, the 1.5 is the General Electric one that's kind of the standard of the industry. That's one that most likely will be used here from the Invenergy, the one developer. EverPower, I think, is going to use a 2 megawatt turbine. I think it's Siemens, or they're talking a couple different manufacturers. So if it was a 2 megawatt, it would take 50 to get 100 megawatts. If it was 1.5, it would be a little over 60 to get to 100 megawatts.
Right.
So on the 100 megawatt project, we may be talking 50 to 60 turbines.
And it says induced impacts. What do they mean by induced impacts? As far as it says, jobs 75. What is induced impact? Do we know it? Anybody know the answer?
No, I don't remember what.
I was trying to figure out what that meant.
I assume that means
the workers doing the maintenance.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Because it says plant workers only 9, and then indirect impacts 5. So I guess that would be if we had 100 megawatt, we could probably expect some indirect